I'm spending a lot of my working day cleaning up the destruction from the fire, and that includes piling up all of the metal that I think ought to be going to a recycle center. This is just one shed's worth of metal roofing, whatever was in the shed. But I am saving some stuff that I think might be useful. Some of them are identifiable tools. Some you can identify what it used to be. I've got some old saw blades and some great big log cutting hand saws, old crosscut saws. Most of this is not going to be something I restore. Some of it we might fix up. There's some axe heads that I'll probably reharden, retemper, and put new handles on and see how they do. But most of this is just going to be material for future projects. For today's project, I thought I'd start with a piece of round bar and some old bucket handles where the bucket didn't survive the fire. What then is today's project? It's a really simple curtain rod that's going to go on a door that has a window in it. So it's only about this long. I've got measurements that I'll double check here when we get started. And the half-inch bar, or roughly half-inch bar, didn't actually measure it. The exact sizes don't matter. But anyways, that will become the rod, and the bucket handles will turn into the rings. That's really all this needs, and we get all of that, except for the mounting screws, out of the salvage stuff. And I suppose if I went through the rubble, I could find screws, but I would rather use new screws. The first thing I'll do, though, is cut the threaded section off of this, because I don't need any threads. The overall piece, including the little feet where the screws go, needs to be 32.5 inches, which is roughly 830 millimeters. The actual functional part of the bar, where it's set away from the door, needs to be about 28.5 inches, or about 720 millimeters. Again, the measurements aren't real critical. It has to suit your project. So I'm going to cut this about 34 inches or so, and that comes out to about 870 millimeters for those of you in the rest of the world. This rod came from the undercarriage of the sheep wagon, and it was part of the hay wagon that was built on. And that means it's got some bends and some bows in it that need to be straightened before I can do anything else. That should get the last little bit of wobble out of it. The finial end on this rod is just a simple fishtail, nothing fancy at all. And just a little dog leg on the end is all it takes. I'll let that cool for a minute, then turn it around and do the same thing to the other end. These ends don't quite line up, but because it's a round bar, we can put a little twist in there and fix it, and nobody will ever know. A couple of pieces of flat bar put on each of the finials will exaggerate any error, and you can see if this is really in line or not. In woodworking, they're referred to as winding sticks. That's pretty good. Then check it to make sure the feet sit flat. Now, one thing about all the fire nonsense that we've been going through is there are lots of times I go looking for a tool and I just can't find it. Things like my hard hat and face shield for working with the chainsaw and the protective chaps that I wear working with a chainsaw. These things were all in the woodshed burn. So the chaps, the hard hat, my chainsaws, log splitter, all that stuff burned. So now I'm in the process of replacing all this stuff before I can get to work doing some of the cleanup work I need to do with all the burnt trees. And I need to start splitting more firewood because all of the firewood for this winter burned up. The other day, I went looking for my favorite cordless drill and my smaller 12-volt impact driver. And of course, those things were up in the cabin. The cabin burned, so my impact driver burned, and my drill burned. And no, this video is not sponsored by either Stihl or by DeWalt. And for that matter, the little cart that I was running around on when I went to get these from the FedEx driver is a Step Ranger. This video is not sponsored by them either. But Step Ranger did send the Pro 60-volt unit out and work with during all the cleanup. Be really handy for hauling firewood around as I start cutting firewood. But those videos are sponsored on the personal channel. I just happen to be using it today. But without further ado, let's get back to work on our project. I want to make the rings that are going to go with that very simple curtain rod. And I'm using these handles that were on a heavy plastic bucket. Bucket's all gone, handles survived. And these are about 3/16 in diameter. So maybe that's what, 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters, something like that. To do this, I'm just going to use a piece of pipe as a mandrel. I'm going to wrap this around like making a giant coil spring. Then after we're done, we'll cut them apart. I actually want these rings to be oval in cross section, but I didn't have a good mandrel that was oval, so I made them round, and now I'm just going to give them a little squish in the vise to make them oval. Now we just cut these apart. Of course, the ends don't quite line up since we did this as a spiral, so we need to go ahead and bring those in line. You can probably just bend them cold, or maybe just a quick smack under the treadle hammer. Make sure you take the time to clean up the cut edges so you don't have any little burrs that'll snag the curtain. I found this shovel in the ashes of the old rendezvous trailer. Just the thing to heat the rings up for waxing. Still a little bit too hot. Let that cool some. I find that's a pretty good way to wax multiple little parts. Well, that gives us a very simple curtain rod for the back of a door and 10 rings to hang the curtain from. Now, why are these oval instead of just leaving them round? Well, for one thing, there's a little gap in the back that is large enough to put a little fabric loop through there so that you can take the curtain on and off if you need to clean it. But you don't want that gap to kind of rotate around so the curtain might fall off if it rotates to the bottom. And the oval rings then will want to hang down, and you can leave that gap to the back where it's going to be less noticeable. Just a very minor detail. And all of this came from material that used to be something else before the fire, but now is just something most people consider scrap. And we're going to keep looking at projects using that material, try to come up with imaginative ways to use it. Most of it is going to be fairly beginner-oriented and fairly simple projects like this. That way I hope to be able to keep doing weekly videos while I'm still dealing with all of the stuff out there that I've got to deal with to clean up. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking your time to watch today's video, with a special shout out to my channel members and my Patreon patrons. Channel members receive early access to most of the videos, while Patreon patrons not only receive early access, they get the videos ad-free and, as much as possible, sponsor-free. So if you're tired of the annoying ads, don't really like the sponsorships, Patreon might be something worth checking out. But for now, I need to get back out there, start cleaning up some more stuff. There's plenty of things to deal with. I hope you have time in your day to get into your shop, make something, but have fun, stay safe, wear your safety glasses. We'll see you for the next video.